evening. I don't know what time it is. Big Mama is tired today. Sorry, friends. Um, welcome. I'm trying to let the people know that we're on. If you are watching live, go ahead and type in live. If you're watching replay, go ahead and type in replay. I am Prophet Trisha Dre. I am co-leader of Truth Seekers International. We are a fasting and praying ministry. We fast the first 3 days of every single month. So today we are here for day 2 of our first fruit fast. And so I want to make sure that I call those things out. Our foundational scripture for the year is Psalm 14, verse 7. And we are just getting into the new year. It's 5786. And so let's go ahead and read. You can hear me okay? Before I really jump into this thing, let's go ahead and read Psalm 14, verse 7. New King James Version is what I'm reading. Oh, that the salvation of Israel would come out of Zion. When the Lord brings back the captivity of his people, let Jacob rejoice and Israel be glad. All right, beautiful people, go ahead, do me a favor, share, and let the people know that you're watching. Let people know that we are live so we can jump right on in. If you're taking notes, and I hope that you are, today's title is Getting to the Birthing Place. But let's go ahead and talk through our Truth Seekers affirmation. This is the day that the Lord has made. I will rejoice and be glad in it. I am a child of the Most High. I am redeemed by the blood, filled with the Spirit, and called for such a time as this. I am rooted in truth, growing in grace, and walking by faith, not by sight. The Word of God is alive in me. It renews my mind, strengthens my heart, and orders my steps. I speak with boldness, I live with purpose, and I move in power. I believe it, my eyes will see it, and my hands will handle it well in Yeshua HaMashiach's name. Amen. I hope that that blessed you, and we are about to get this party started. So, yesterday we talked about the path of champions, and when I tell you I got so many messages, this is exactly what I'm going through right now. Oh my gosh, you're speaking directly to me. You were in my mail. Praise the Lord. Praise the Lord, because everybody has a champion in them. And that's why it's so important for us to have winning energy. This is why I call the book Winergy. It's on the way. It's in the editing process. But I feel like I should add that in since we're already editing anyway. So don't be surprised if you see the path of champions in there, okay? Because that is literally what we're talking about, the mindset of a winner, what it takes to become a winner, and the keys to get there. Today, we are going to be talking about getting to the birthing place, okay? You got to get to the birthing place. So many of us are overdue. So many of us are pregnant with things that the Lord has for us. And that's the thing that you're waiting to save you. That's the thing that you're waiting to change your financial situation, where you are, your location, your status, your influence, but it's on the inside of you. How many of you know that if you are pregnant and you are past due, what do doctors do? They induce you. If you are past due, if you're overdue, doctors will induce you because now it is getting to a point to where it's too dangerous for both you as the mom and the baby for y'all to stay together. Whether the baby's getting too big or whatever the case may be, it's not always good for your health if you stay pregnant too long. It's not always good for the health of the baby if you stay pregnant too long. So it's very important that if you're pregnant in the spirit realm, it's time to get some things birthed. So don't be surprised when you see book after book after book come out. Don't be surprised when you see EP after EP after EP come out. Don't be surprised when you see single after single after single. Don't be surprised when you see art show after art show after art show. Some of us have been pregnant for far too long, and you have to get to a space to where you are constantly pushing out your work. Other than that, you're going to be pregnant. So some of us are pregnant with triplets and quintuplets and so on and so forth. So I'm saying all that just to set up the scene for where we're going. Today, I have a scripture for you. Yesterday, we kind of walked through just the life of David, and First Samuel was our meditation point for the day. For day two, we are reading from the book of Luke. And so we're reading from the book of Luke, chapter 2, and we are going to read verses 1 through 7. I know I said a lot, child. We just getting started. I know I said a lot, baby, and we are just getting started, and that's okay. We are going to do this thing. So let's go ahead and hop into Luke chapter 2, verse 1. I am going to be reading from the NLT version, okay? So I'm just going to read all 7 of the verses, and then we'll jump into what the Lord has been telling me, to share with you. So at the time, the Roman Emperor Augustus decreed that a census should be taken throughout the Roman Empire. This was the first census taken when Quirinius was governor of Syria. Pause. I just had a thought. I'm sorry, friends. But we have some very unique names in the Bible. Only people I know that have unique names like this are people of color. I'm just saying, I don't make the rules. I don't make the rules. Just saying. I'm just saying. Because what is Quirinius? Somebody let me know what that is. That's crazy. Anyway, I digress. Let's get to verse 3. All returned to their own ancestral towns to register for the census. And because Joseph was a descendant of King David, he had to go to Bethlehem in Judea, David's ancient home. He traveled there from the village of Nazareth in Galilee. He took with him Mary, to whom he was engaged, who was now expecting a child. I'm going to stick a star right there. She's in her third trimester. If you've ever known me while I was pregnant, I was never nice in my third trimester. I was always uncomfortable, hot, dog tired. I'm not getting no sleep. My back hurt. I don't want to smile. And you mean to tell me this lady had to travel all the way back home? Who knows how many miles that was? Pregnant in her third trimester? God bless America. I'm just setting the scene for y'all, okay? So they're expecting a child in verse 5. Verse 6, and while they were there, the time came for her baby to be born. She took this long journey. This is also why they don't let you travel when you're too far along. You need to be close to your doctor. You need to be close to your primary physician, your OB, so that way we can make sure that you are being delivered and delivering your child safely. She had to travel from home to Joseph's descendant ancestor, David's home. And while they were there, the time came for her baby to be born. She gave birth to her firstborn son. She wrapped him snugly in strips of cloth and laid him in a manger because there was no lodging available for them. That's where we are, okay? This was not a great birthing experience. I remember I was complaining to the Lord, and I was just like, I always wanted at least one happy pregnancy, one of those experiences where I just, I was happy to be pregnant, and it was like, a mutual experience. And he was like, girl, read this. Literally, read this. I said, all right then, so that ain't happening. Got it. So if Mary, the mother of Jesus, is not having a super great experience, it's a blessing if we can, okay? But if we don't, still count it all joy is basically what he was sharing with me. And so I just always want to share that because, right now, social media, number one, we see way more birth announcements. We see way more baby showers than we see weddings. So there's that. But people like to post the highlight reel. And so, they'll post all of these things, and that's just not what the experience actually is. But because it has a certain aesthetic and it looks a certain way, that is what the general consensus is of people. I am here to dispel that. Okay. So, this virgin birth that we know Mary is having is rough. It's not, an easy thing. Birthing is hard. I don't care what age you are. I can remember when I prophesied to Bishop Corletta Vaughn about those preaching women, and we were birthing that. She was in the process of birthing it. It hadn't been made real. She was in the process of birthing it out, getting a group together, putting a Facebook group together, getting her, students and everything in there, creating the um, curriculum and all of those things. It was work for her. And she would be like, Dula, I'm tired. Like, I have birthed children in my real life, but this is unlike anything I've ever experienced. This is a lot of labor. This is a lot of work that I'm doing. We hadn't even made it to Kobo yet. She hadn't even had her first big conference for those preaching women. Just the manual labor to birth the vision that God had given her to raise up this army of women leaders was so much work for her. She was like, "Oh my gosh, this really does feel like labor. I'm so tired. I am exhausted from doing this." So I always like to use that because you see it. You can see, the fruit, and she's public, so I like to keep a lot of things to my chest and just be quiet about it, but she already said it publicly, so I can say it. But you know, we have to look at this virgin birth because there were not cars there. There were not cars on this journey. She didn't ride a horse. It was probably a donkey. Can you imagine riding a donkey in your third trimester, hundreds of miles away from home to do a census, and then you have this baby, and it's not in a hospital, it's not in a hotel, you're in a manger because there's no space, and you are wrapping your baby up with what? Strips of cloth that were found here. This is not a great birthing experience for the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords, but that's okay. So all of this is still a miracle. And I think that we have let TV romanticize what miracles look like. Sometimes they're not pretty. Birthing is ugly. It gets nasty. It gets bloody. It gets sweaty. Have you seen Afterbirth? Baby, I'm just saying, it's different. It hits different. But that's okay. If you're pregnant too long, it's too dangerous for you, right? So let this is your clarion call. It's time for you to birth the things, okay? It is time for you to birth the things. Say it's time for me to give birth. Go ahead and type that in the comments. Why? Because when we look at Luke chapter 2, verses 1 through 7, it really does show us God's sovereign plan. And I say these things because we all have been to or are still going to a church that will romanticize what this Christian journey looks like. Like it's all sunshine and rainbows. And I always tell you, you better count the cost. You better count the cost. Yes, it's the best decision you will ever make in your life, but you are about to do some work. You are about to experience some warfare. What do you think is happening to Mary when she is literally, the only thing she ever said was, "Be it unto me"? And what did the angel say to her? "Blessed and high, you are blessed and highly favored. Greetings to you, you are blessed and highly favored." And he, man, tore her world up. She got an engagement that's going to help and set her family up financially. Hello, because make dowries great again. And then this angel comes with, this proposal from the Lord. She gets pregnant. Joseph wants to get rid of her because I didn't sleep with her, and I'm not about to take care of no man's baby that ain't mine. You gonna marry him, whoever he is. And God has to literally stop him. This is all a part of God's sovereign plan. So he stays. He has to take her with him because she's good and pregnant, going into in her third trimester. making it all the way to King David's hometown. This is all a part of God's sovereign plan. Your birthing process is not always going to be easy, but I want you to be reminded when you start to have those labor pains and those contractions that even though you need to give birth, you need to, it is all a part of God's sovereign plan for your life. Okay? So we see it unfolding through this process of number one, them staying engaged, right? And then number two, them making it to the hometown. But this birth, Jesus's birth is a humble and lowly birth. He is not where we live. It would be like going to U of M Ann Arbor or Henry Ford or Beaumont, what do you call it? West Bloomfield, like a suburban hospital that almost gives hotel vibes where you're getting a premium experience. This is where our athletes and celebrities will go if they're not doing it at home, that sort of thing. They're shutting down floors. You're getting like a VIP experience. That's not how Jesus came into this world. He had a humble and lowly birthing experience. His mom had a humble and lowly birthing experience. So, despite there not being any room in the inn, God's focus was on the poor and the marginalized, which is why Jesus had to come in on this type of setting. And so it set the stage for us to know that Jesus was going to be a servant leader. What is your birthing story telling of you? What is your birthing story telling of your mission? Okay, so this way that he's coming in, it highlights the fulfillment of prophecy and of the incarnation of God in human form, even through the most challenging circumstances. It is time for you to birth your vision, birth the thing that the Lord told you to, no matter how challenging it is in the process. I really feel like it should be more people on here. And I'm not that girl. You need to share this with some friends because too many of us are pregnant with things that are not being birthed. And so I'm saying all this to lead up to my second point. You have to be willing to be uncomfortable. Yeah, you gotta be willing to be uncomfortable. Tag a friend that needs to be uncomfortable. You know they're pregnant, but they are not willing to go through the process of being uncomfortable. They will stop whatever it is that you're doing to help them get to the next phase of the progress or the steps to get to the end of the birthing experience because it makes them uncomfortable. You got to get out your own way in this season. So go ahead and type in the comments. I got to get out my own way. You got to be willing to be uncomfortable. That means you have to step out the way. It's not going to feel good. It's not going to be how you like it. It's not going to be how you think it should be done. You need to be uncomfortable. And the thing about it is shifts make you uncomfortable. I am so uncomfortable right now at work. But it's because it's time to shift. And so when you realize that shifts make you uncomfortable, that is God's sign of telling you to move. You got to make a move. And so that is, just a thing. God is ultimately in control, right? He's ultimately in control of it all. But sometimes we get in the way and we say, well, I like it here. I'm comfortable here. I got flexibility. I got autonomy. I don't have nobody micromanaging me. Like, girl, I've been told you to move. Come on. Let me go ahead and make this uncomfortable for you. Shifts make you uncomfortable, but it gets you going. It's time for you to get to going. Okay? It's time for you to get moving. So I want you to think about that. What are we needing to birth? Type it in the chat so I can pray with you about bringing these things to life. Still waiting. I don't see nothing. That's crazy. Because I know we got some things we need to be birthing. Just saying. I'm just saying. So when we go through, no, name it. Just like when you're trying to get rid of the devil, you got to call those things out. If you're struggling with lust, you got to say that thing. I'm struggling with lust. I'm struggling with the pride of life. I'm struggling with pornography. You got to name that thing. Because whatever you don't expose, the enemy will always try to hide behind the corners. Manuals, not just books, manuals. You are a teacher at heart. You are a teacher. You are a deliverer. You are a female Moses. You're welcome. Yeah, you are a deliverer, which is why the enemy always tries to keep you beat down. Fight back. It's time to burst some things. Just saying. Okay. So you have to get to a space where you're able to shift, because shifts make you uncomfortable. Think about your labor process. Going through contractions. Name the thing. Going through contractions don't feel good. But each contraction is making your lady parts a little bit bigger so that way this head can make its way out. You got to shift each phase you go through. How many centimeters are you? Oh, she ain't ready yet. She ain't ready to push. You know the doctor don't even come out to the last minute. You dealing with the nurses. When you first come in, you go through triage. And they check in to see where you are. Let me check in and see. Cause did your water break? How many centimeters are you? How many centimeters dilated are you? And so it's really important for you to be aware of the shifts that are taking place. It's not by happenstance that you're moving the way that you are, but you have to show it for yourself, okay? So it's time for you to get information and to give birth. Mm-hmm. It's time for you to get into formation and give birth. Why? Because our natural birth, we talk about like the flesh, right? But the spiritual things that we're birthing, it is literally whatever it is. Sometimes it's a ministry. The labor and the warfare that I went through to birth what we now call truth seekers. And I knew Pastor John was the one. Okay. I didn't take into account what that meant for me. So when the Lord told me to start doing the things, I was like, well, this just has to be like the women's ministry, because there's no way I am like birthing the full ministry. I'm not the leader, I'm not the head. You tired, but fight anyway. Fight anyway. When Moses got tired, he had two great friends on either side of him lifting up his hands for them to win the battle. You need good people around you, which is why the Lord keeps showing you who you need to cut off. And when you start to see that and be selfish, which is why you're in your villain area, you're not really a villain. You're too sweet is your problem. And so givers have to set limits because takers usually don't. Takers don't usually set limits. And so you have to set limits because people will drain you. And the thing about having a leech will take and take and take and take and take. And then when they see you have nothing else to give, then they'll leave you after you're dead because they're still going to take whatever they can from you even while you're gone and then move on to the next. So you can't get to that space. You can't let them get you to that space. You have to shift. You have to let people go. You have to rise higher. So you will be uncomfortable. Listen, I'm all for Molly Wap, just saying. You have to be uncomfortable and you will be inconvenienced. But most importantly, you need to be willing. So I bring up Mother Mary, because she's in her third trimester. You can't tell me she's not uncomfortable being pregnant, especially when you hit that little sweet spot where you just can't sleep no more. You want to sleep, but you can't. Like your body is just doing the absolute most. This kid is doing the absolute most. You're hungry, child, everything, just everything. Yeah, so you're uncomfortable. She had to ride on a donkey in her third trimester for however many miles. It was not a quick ride. It was not a little Uber or Lyft. She couldn't take a plane or a train. She had to ride on a donkey, good and pregnant and uncomfortable. That doesn't sound like it's a convenience. There's so many people coming to the hometown. There's nowhere even for them to stay. She is continually inconvenienced, but she was always willing. So when you get to the birthing place, stop looking for it to be convenient. Stop looking for it to be a place that's comfortable. Are you willing? I keep bringing up my schedule for a reason. It's not to brag. I'm not proud that I'm doing all of these things. I am being inconvenienced. I am absolutely being inconvenienced. I am very uncomfortable, but the Lord knows that I am willing, because to whom much is given, much is required. I am willing. Why? Because I want it. I want it bad enough to do whatever I need to do to be as uncomfortable as I need to be uncomfortable. I'm done hiding. What do you need me to do, Lord? I'm here to do it. It doesn't feel good. I said, not me being so uncomfortable. Y'all about to push me into leadership again. Um, but for real though, because it's time to shift. It's been time to shift. So you have to be willing, okay? Last point, and then I'm going to leave you all with that. I didn't do nothing. I've been told you. I didn't do nothing, but don't blame it on me. I didn't do it. Not guilty, okay? Um, and just not guilty. The enemy knows your habits. He knows your patterns. And so you have to confuse the enemy. You have to be willing in this season. You have to be willing. You have to be praying like never before. I am fasting more than 3 days out of the week, out of the month, I should say. I don't, not because I want to. I really don't want to. Okay, I don't want to. But the Lord is requiring more of me. He's requiring more study time of me to birth these things. I have so many books to push out. It's ridiculous, and I know there will be 3 to 5 coming out between now and the end of 2026. 3 to 5 books. Who about to do that? Me, apparently. God is doing it. Because I don't know. I don't know. All I know is I gotta write them. That's all I know. I gotta write them, and I gotta write them well. My hands will handle everything that he puts in them well. That's just that. And so I am leaving you with this last point. The enemy, he already knows your patterns. He already knows your habits. He knows how you operate in fight, flight, freeze, or fawn. He knows you're tired of fighting. And let me just give him one more thing that's going to take her over the edge. Why would you give in to that? Stop letting him press your buttons so you can react and then give him what he wants. You cannot afford to be cussing people out in this season, child. When I tell you, I have not been more tempted. I ain't cussed nobody out in a very long time, okay? I've been doing so good. So good. I have not been more tempted to use real cuss words. Have y'all met my mama? She be putting some combinations together, okay? I have heard all of them. Imagine Madam. She is Madam from the All the Queen's Men series, okay? Yeah. So I know what to say. I know what to do. Those buttons have been being pressed a lot lately. And so I have had to really hone the fruit of the Spirit a lot. A lot more than usual. A lot. Because I'm really not a person that wants to use profanity and all of that. Because let's just fight. Because if I get to that space, I just want to beat you up. Let me just go ahead and give you this work real quick. And then we can go on about our way. That's just not how that works. And so because I know this, I'm very conscious. And so I'm saying all that to say the enemy already knows my habits. He knows my patterns. He knows what happens in my bloodline. He knows what can easily irritate me. He knows how. One thing we don't talk about enough, and this is something that I've been having more conversations on, as Black women, if you struggle with anxiety, anger is probably the symptom you see the most. Having an attitude is usually a symptom of you being anxious, and you're overstimulated, and you're not regulating well like you should be. The enemy knows your patterns. So, because most times we don't get grace to be sassy and fussing and all of the things, what happens with that? Now your brand is tainted, and now you're viewed as, a problem child, when really you're just anxious and overstimulated and overwhelmed. That is for us to regulate. The enemy already knows your patterns and your habits. So you have to work overtime to make sure that you are tapped into the spirit to where he doesn't get to win. Why? Because we got things to birth. When you get to the birthing place, you're in so much pain, you really don't have time. You don't have time to be fussing and cussing. You got things to birth. I am not answering the phone a lot. I am sending pretty much all of y'all to voicemail because while I'm writing, I'm working on homework. I'll tap in once I get my things done, but I'm not talking to you until I have my list, my kill list done for the day, because I need to make sure that I'm showing up for myself in this season. Why? Because number one, I'm a champion, but also number two, I am in the process of birthing. When you are in labor, baby, you ain't trying to be on the phone talking to nobody. I barely want to talk to John. First of all, why are you looking at me? Why are you looking at me? How did I let you get me here this many times? What is wrong with me? I don't like you right now. Matter of fact, don't touch me. Don't touch me. Because you probably gonna get me pregnant while I'm in labor. No, thank you. This is where we are. The enemy already knows your habits. He already knows your patterns. I need you to push past the pain. You gotta push past the pain. You gotta lock in, and it's time to get it done. That's our last point. I pray that this blessed you. You know somebody that has been saying they're going to write that book, they want to start that business, they're going to get them songs out, they're going to do the ministry, they're going to work on their art. You send this to them because it's time to birth. We have 5 years. And I can guarantee your day job is not going to be enough to help you sustain. They are not trying to give you more than enough. They don't want you working more than one job for this reason. Your day job is not going to sustain you. Your day job is not going to give you what you need for the 5-year plan that the Lord said you need to be building on. But those gifts, skills, talents, and abilities, those things that he told you to birth, those are the things that he will bless. And you will see there's going to be a window of so many yeses and so many opportunities. You better be ready when he comes around. You better be ready when he gives the people an opportunity to give you a yes and cut you a check for the things that you've been waiting on. It's time to get ready. You need to be prepared. You cannot miss this window. Tomorrow, I will be on 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. We got one more day of the First Fruit Fast. I will make sure you get this email first thing in the morning. Confuse the enemy. Show up for yourself, whether you're numb, whether you're tired, whether you're tired of fighting. All my life I had to fight, yes, and we're going to keep on fighting. You are a warrior. On top of you being a warrior, you are an end time warrior. You're welcome. I didn't choose this life. The Lord chose it for me, and we were all born for such a time as this. Fix your face. Fix your mindset. Fix your attitude. Take a minute. Take a nap. But we are here to war. That's what we do. That is why we are made. That is why we were made in this era. There's no getting away from it. There's no moving around it. It is who we are. And the only path is through. So, I said a lot. I know. I love you. I say it all with love. I tell you the truth because I love you. I'm not here to make you feel good. Too many people do that, and all the people that are feeling good are going to hell. I want for you to get what you need to get done. And when you do get called to heaven, because every knee shall bow and every tongue shall confess that Jesus is Lord. And when you do an account for the time that you spent here on earth, not only do you hear, well done, thy good and faithful servant, he's proud of you and pleased with what you did, parable of the talents, because you actually did something with them. You didn't just pour it into the dirt and let it go, hiding it because you knew your master was shrewd. No, you actually did something with it, and you will reap 30, 60, 100 fold. And when he comes back, you will be able to account for your life. And while you were born, Jeremiah 29:11, before you were in your mother's womb, I had plans for you. I thought of you. Wouldn't it be a shame if we let the cares of this world and what everybody else has going on, that we didn't actually accomplish what we were here to accomplish? That's why birthing is so important to me. That's why I'm so passionate about purpose, because we're not just here to be here. You are here for such a time as this on purpose. It's time to get the things done. I'm not going to say it again. I love y'all. I will be on again tomorrow, last day. We will actually not be having Bible study on Saturday. It's Dubby Day. And because it's Dubby Day, it is a day filled with activities for our children. You know, family is our first ministry. So, excuse me, we will pick back up. I will be on Saturday night when we get back, but like Bible study's not happening. So Saturday night when we get back, I will give you the prophetic post for October. Sunday, I will give you morning manna, and you'll get your devotion for the week. So reset. So I feel like I covered all the bases. Share this with a friend, because it's time to birth. We all need the money. We all need the resources. We've all been asking God for the opportunities. He's waiting on us. Okay, bye.